Hey guys, it's Riley again, and today I am going to be starting the new series that I said I was going to be starting, which is going to be me talking about how an INTP can have a good relationship with every one of the 16 types. Um, Today I'm going to be talking about one of our favorite types, how an INTP can have a good relationship with an ESTP. So, I wanted to talk about this one especially because I personally usually hate ESTPs. Um, I usually do not get along with ESTPs at all. And I think that a lot of people in the MBTI community share those feelings. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that most people in the MBTI community are intuitives, especially like NPs, I would say, have the hardest time with ESTPs. So I guess I can talk a little bit about why that is and problems that I've had with ESTPs before. Now, the main reason why um, they don't get along with intuitives very well is because intuitives are very abstract thinking and they think in terms of abstract concepts and theories and um, they look at the very big picture and try to extract theories and the underpinning of how things work on a very like meta level. But if you think about like an ESTP or an ISTP, those type of people are almost hostile to that kind of thing. Like you're not gonna find an ESTP that likes to talk about theory all the time or philosophy or it's just going to seem very like woo woo and like not concrete enough for them to even understand or get behind. It just sounds like they take it as people are getting taken advantage of by people like that. And to be fair, I think they're actually right in some circumstances that people can use abstract theories and theoretical concepts to confuse people into getting behind them when it's a questionable product or idea. But yeah, with that, I'm going to talk a little bit about problems I've run into with ESTPs because I think we can really clash because that high introverted thinking paired with the lack, like the concrete versus the abstract version of that, just does not go over well a lot of the time because I'm just stating things as being true and they just can't cope with that. That doesn't resonate with them. Um, so yeah, and it there's more than that we'll get into. So I've personally been picked on by ESTPs a lot in my life, and I think that to other INTPs out there and other NPs in general, that they would agree with me that they have probably shared in this experience of getting picked on a lot from ESTPs. Um, a lot of that has to do with the fact that um, ESTPs are always kind of um, they're looking people up and down like what is this guy about? They're looking very surface level of they're looking for signs of strength and loyalty and maybe not character, but they're obviously they're very sensory. They're looking for someone that shows a little bit more practical intelligence, like an STJ or something, um, or another SE user to butt up against. So for someone with extroverted sensing blind spot or SE demon, like an ENP, um, yeah, that ESTP is going to immediately just see that NP as like a very weak person, which is obviously not, well, I shouldn't say that it's not true completely. I think that NPs are kind of skittish or avoid trials early on in their life, but they become stronger through experience. Um, so maybe in a way they are correct in seeing that weakness, but they're definitely overlooking some other things with those NPs. So yeah, one of my best friends in like elementary school was an ESTP, and I think there's a specific story that I have about that, of another issue that can occur because we're both TPs. Um, so like there was a time it struck me as very odd, but I think their extroverted feeling child function or third slot function um, obviously doesn't like um, introverted feeling demon, or they don't appreciate INTP's lack of emotionality when they themselves have low emotionality. They want to see some introverted feeling. So there was like a situation where I really got hurt, like scraped up my knee really bad at the skate park or something. Anyway, I didn't, cry or nothing. Yeah, I just didn't complain about it. And he was like, "Oh well, I don't want to be friends with someone who doesn't cry when they're hurt," or it was kind of like a weird loyalty check thing. I was like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, I just am not gonna cry when I get hurt, I guess. Like, yeah. So that's something that can cause some weird kind of issues with um, any two TP types interacting. Um, Moving on from that experience, I know there's been various ESTPs who picked on me over the years in school, but there was a prominent ESTP in um, my old job that I started when I was 19, I think. Um, there was an ESTP there who, like, he was just an asshole to me. Like, just because I was new. I mean, I guess it's kind of normal for people to be mean to the new guy, whatever. So there was a base level of that, but he just really picked on me. And, like, the thing that makes that a little more interesting is, like, this was before I started learning about depth psychology and stuff, but it wasn't long after that I started to, and things started to kind of come together with how these type of people that typically really got on my nerves work. Because that guy, although he was really being mean to me, he actually liked me. Like, that guy wanted me to succeed. I never got to see him be nice to me because I was not to the point of um, like I wasn't skilled enough before he left the company to the point where he would have ever treated me with respect. Um, so yeah, and don't get me wrong, guys. Like, I'm not trying to justify like people's abusive behavior here, but I'm just trying to explain what's going on when you have problems with ESTPs. But I remember, um, there was an ESTJ and ESTP together, and they were working with me, and this guy was just grilling me again, like he would pretty much every day. And the ESTJ finally was like, dude, stop. Like, you're not actually helping. Because the ESTJ was actually helping me with my work. And the ESTP came in and kind of started grilling me. And he's like, dude, stop. That's not, it's not working. Like, you're not actually helping this guy by doing that. And I remember seeing the ESTP, he was kind of like, what? Like, remember? And, they were talking between themselves, so I wasn't really supposed to hear this, but he was like, um, remember when I told you that I was going to make sure you got fired in the first 2 weeks you worked here, and that really motivated you to work hard, which, sure, I mean, yeah, okay, I guess that works on ESTJs, but it doesn't work on INTPs like me, because I know that, like, he's trying to get on my nerves, and I know that that's not realistic. So I just see that as him trying to manipulate my behavior, which makes me just dig in my feet. And I'm like, okay, like, if you obviously want me to do this so badly, I'm going to do the opposite of what you want, kind of thing. Like, a very, very INFPs too can just really dig in their feet and become this immovable object, especially when they have like these STPs grilling on them. Like, it just does not work. Um, so, yeah, in order to make this actually work, you have to confront them about it. Like, you have to be more direct in your communication with these ESTPs. Recognize that they are actually trying to use their INFJ subconscious to strengthen you and to make you better, and confront them in that way. Like, tell them that you know what they might not be really willing to admit what they're doing, but you know what they're doing, and you knowing what they're doing can sometimes, at the very least, make them question themselves and maybe put a stop to what they were doing. Um, yeah, so like what I like to do, if there's an ESTP that's really bothering me, and I don't really want to have anything to do with him or her, I know I keep automatically referring to the ESTP as a male, but anyways, yeah, if there's an ESTP that's like really bothering you and you just aren't going to need their help, um, what I like to do is just confront them directly and realize that they're trying to help you and that's why they're being an a-hole most of the time, and be like, okay, hey man, like, in private, I know you're just trying to razz me. I know you're trying to get under my nerves. I know you're trying to strengthen me. I know you want me to just talk crap back to you, but that's not going to happen. I don't care enough about you and what you're trying to do to let that um, change my behavior. Your behavior isn't helping me get any better. It's doing the opposite. Um, I don't need your help. That's that might, hurt their feelings. It doesn't really. They don't like to hear that. They really don't. If you tell an STP that you don't want their help, to stop helping you, they do actually kind of take it hard, but they do stop bothering you. I actually did tell that ESTP at my work. Like, he came up to me when I was working on something and just started like laying into me or something, and I was like, I didn't ask for your help, dude. Go away. Like, I do not need you around here. If I need your help, I'll come ask for your help. Like, don't come near me and start talking to me when I didn't ask for you. So, but he he did not really like that, but he definitely went away. And it's funny, like, I actually saw him like maybe a year or a little less than a year after, he left, and um, at that point I was obviously still like salty. That introverted sensing bitterness was still strong in me, and he was so nice. He was like acting really nice towards me, he was asking me what I was doing, and I was basically like, "Oh yeah, I'm doing like way better than ever when you were there," like kind of trying to get under his nerves, and he's kind of just like, "You okay? Like, good. I'm happy for you." It's just because there's this just miscommunication going on. That's all that's going on in these problems between INTPs and ESTPs. Like, it's just that we don't understand why they're being that way. We don't understand that they're trying to help you. Um, it seems really backwards because they really have a sideways way of like doing it, but they really are trying to like strengthen people. I watched it so many times. Like, ESTPs, they look for like the person who stands out the most, the person who's like the weakest, the weakling, the beta, the whatever, and they just harp on that person all the time. That's what they do. They It's because they're very like pack. They have like this weird pack mentality where just they're very loyal when it comes down to it. Like, they really care about like their group and their people that are going to be loyal to them, and they want to make sure that those people are like as strong as possible. So that's really why they like pick on people. Like, it's kind of a trial by fire. Like, either you're going to make it or you're out. Like, you have to be like this loyal and willing to put up with all this and willing to make sacrifices and get better if you want to be part of my ESTP clique or whatever. So it's really kind of weird. I've actually dated an ESTP. It was really terrible. It was really terrible. I don't think it necessarily has to be terrible. I think maybe like later in life, maybe after an INTP has like a lot more experience under their belt and respect from other people, that ESTP like will respect them, then maybe a romantic relationship might work. But um, in my experience, like, it really didn't work because of that loyalty check stuff, and that she was honestly like just very almost verbally abusive to me, like really always trying to get under my skin all the time, and like always trying to tear me down to see what I would do. It's just drove me up the wall. Like, I cannot put up with that. It's so dumb. Like, yeah, now I'm just kind of complaining about ESTPs. But, so yeah, the first thing you need to do is realize that they're trying to help you. Once you realize that they are trying to help you, and they want you to be part of their pack, then you have to decide what you're going to do. Either you do what I just explained earlier, where you confront them and tell them that you don't want to have anything to do with them, that you don't want their help, and that you're going to make their life very difficult if they don't leave you alone. Because let's be honest, NPs can make it very difficult on SPs to just, because we like in like an INP, an INFP, or an INTP, they, being that immovable object, can be very hard on an ESTP, um, especially if they're just not taking it, if they're not changing the way that ESTP wants them to. They can really mess up their plans and mess up what that ESTP is trying to do. I have personally really publicly like crapped on an ESTP's reputation in front of everyone, and yeah, it was pretty funny, but he was pissed, like super pissed. But yeah. Anyways, so if you do want their help, this is kind of guidelines. And I actually have now had a really successful relationship with an ESTP at this point. Um, this guy is actually a great mentor, especially when you're already like in their pack and they really want to help you and you're not like the weakling that they're like picking on or whatever. That's where you can actually see like the good, more positive side of ESTPs that you can appreciate a lot more. This guy has me do his house. I work out in the mornings with him, like um, every day, every weekday, um, and it's great. Like he really helps me with those more like masculine traits to make me into a stronger man. Um, with that kind of thing, obviously ESTPs are great for that. They can help you with physical traits, masculine traits, and being good at mechanics and whatever, working out and maybe picking up women or something. I don't know. But they're good for that. Like they really do teach you. They want to teach you a lot, and they have a lot of good things to teach you when it comes down to it. So, uh, let's see. The main thing with ESTPs, that if you want to have a good relationship with them, you have to have a very high degree of loyalty. You can't falter with your loyalty with ESTPs. It will not go well for you. If you are wishy-washy in your loyalty to an ESTP, they will immediately throw you in the dumpster, basically. Like, they won't put up with that. So, you really have to make sure in everything that you do that you're not coming across as potentially disloyal in any way. And that means not like publicly contradicting them too harshly, not definitely not saying anything behind their back or talking about them in a negative way without their knowledge or without them being there or something. That's a huge, huge, huge no-no. They are all about respect and mutual space. If you have respect for them and you regard them highly, they have respect for you. That's how it works. Um, so there's that. The loyalty thing. They sometimes will just be. I don't know if it's necessarily on purpose, but they will like have an off day where they're just kind of an asshole to you, and you kind of just have to push through that. When I say that, don't be a doormat, because that actually will also piss them off. So you have to be loyal in a way that's not like just okay with them crapping on you. You have to be loyal to them, make sure they know that, but also buck back a little bit. Like, they can lose respect for you very quickly if you just take their insults. So there's an aspect of that too. It depends on how mature the ESTP is too. Sometimes more mature ESTPs with more like um, a more developed INFJ subconscious will be um, more okay with you being just a nice person. Like they'll feel more bad about being an asshole to you is what I'm trying to say. Um, so that's a good thing. You're gonna get along better with an ESTP who's more developed subconscious as an INTP. Anyways, um, let's see what else. We went over the respect. Oh, gratitude. Gratitude's actually a huge deal and something that INTPs have to work on generally, but especially with ESTPs because they have the extrovert feeling third slot function, you have to make sure that you're thanking them for their help I have to remind myself to be always apologetic if I do something wrong, or be thanking this guy for helping me in this certain way. Just making sure that he knows that I definitely appreciate his help, because he's, not necessarily getting anything out of it, and they actually don't necessarily want anything back, directly at least. They're not so much about like tit for tat kind of stuff, at least if they're trying to mentor you. So yeah, just make sure you respect them, that you're showing that respect and gratitude when they're helping you. Because they'll go out of their way for you. You have to realize that if you're actually on the end with an ESTP, like, they will really like stand up for you in front of like everyone. They will back you up and like talk you up like in a good way, like not even a truthful way sometimes. Like, they'll just say you're so great and all this to other people. It's cool. I mean, that's cool. Like, there's definitely tons of positive aspects of ESTPs. Um, yeah. So I think that's pretty much it, honestly. I think that INTPs can actually have a good relationship with ESTPs, especially in a relationship with where it's like the ESTP is a mentor to you. Just keep all of those things in mind that I said. They really can be a huge asset if you give them the chance and they give you the chance. It can actually be a pretty good relationship. Um, Another thing to keep in mind is that you want to think about the dynamics of the relationship, the group relationship, because the group is very important to the ESTP. If there's someone being picked on, obviously I'm not advocating for you allowing someone to get abused, but I'm just going to put this out there that ESTPs, you're more likely to get an ESTP's help if you don't stand up for that person. I know I'm probably going to get a lot of hate in the comments about that particular statement, but I'm just being honest here. That can be a dynamic with ESTPs, is if you're standing up for the little guy, they get kind of mad at you because they're trying to change that person to be a stronger person, you know what I mean? So, anyways, that's all I have to say about it. This video is definitely run pretty long, but I don't really know how long these INTP relationship with blank type videos are going to go anyway, so I would like to hear what you guys think about it, and would like to hear if you have any requests of like which type to cover next. If you really want to know how to have a good relationship as an INTP with this type, or you're the other type and you want to know how you can have a good relationship with that INTP. So, with that, thanks guys.